Everybody, welcome to another episode of Personal Mastery Training. The conversations we have on here is exactly how it is. It's about mastering you. Forget about the competition, forget about the business that you own, forget about the relationship, all of that stuff. What you really need to master is you, because there's no there is no outside game. It's all the internal. Once you can master you, your greatest critic, your greatest enemy, your greatest champion potentially, then everything else is secondary. But if you can't master you, I can give you all the opportunities in the world. I can give you all the resources for success. You're gonna keep getting in your own way. So that's what this is about. And we're always in training. So what we're doing here is I got my two cohorts right now, Ray and Dr. Charlie, and we're gonna give you a conversation, topic of conversation, the main meal, the main source of this meal, and we're gonna serve you up some soul food. So, in order to do that, we have Ray today. I think it's Ray. Yeah, Ray will bring the main meal today, and we're gonna chop it up. All right, Ray, give it to them. What you got?
All right, all right. Hey, what's up, guys? I think everyone listening and can agree that the human potential is limitless. Right? Everyone listening can agree to that. But in most cases in life, most people settle for good enough. Why is that exactly? I would love for us to dive into it. And you heard the topic, pressure creates diamond. Okay, I'll give you guys a quick example. If you look at water, for instance, okay, water, when you just look at it, it's very still. But when you concentrate it into one part, it can cut through steel. It can do amazing things. Well, same thing for us. Maybe one of the reasons that we settle for good enough is because we want to stay safe. Okay, we want to stay safe. But deep down, I know everyone listening had moments where they were fully locked in, where they were operating at optimal state, even just for a moment. And I believe all of us would love to be there, but it requires certain things. And these are the things I want to talk about right now. It requires a challenge. And the thing about a challenge is that when you're tested, you don't feel safe. Okay, you don't feel safe. But this is how we elevate. This is how the things in us, our potential, activates, and other things have to come in. And we talked about disciplines, for instance, last week. We talked about so many other things where they need to activate for us to really level up and operate at that optimal level. So this is really what I want to talk about today is we are void of challenge in our everyday life. And it's a good thing to create that test within us so that we can truly elevate, so that we can step out of our comfort zone where we are really just drifting and where we are settling for good enough. But if we could be great, you know, why not introduce a little bit of challenge and see what happens? So I'll just start off with that, and with that, now I'll pass the mic.
Love it, Ray. And this is this is so critical, right? To goal achievement, progress is having those challenges. And something I've discovered is having the daily challenges is so important. I mean, you have things that you want to accomplish in the next 6 months or things you want to accomplish in the next year, but it really comes down to what you do every day, right? And so what can I do today that's going to move the ball forward, that's going to move the needle, right? And when we are we're meeting challenges on a daily basis, then goal achievement is inevitable because every day we're taking steps towards that. And so I always have three things that I want to accomplish each day that are going to, in some way, whether it's a fitness goal, whether it's a financial goal or a personal goal, that is going to move the ball forward. And I know if I keep meeting those three challenges every day, then 6 months from now or a year from now, I will have achieved what I'm after. And it's just an important thing, because if we don't have challenges to accomplish each day, then what can happen is you can get lost, and all of a sudden a week goes by and you get busy and life happens, or a month's gone by and you look back and you haven't taken steps towards your goal. So I think that daily keeps it in front of you and it keeps you moving forward. With that, I'll pass the mic.
All right, all right, all right. Great topic of conversation. All right, here's my input from this. Um, Humans, we do need to be challenged. That's just bottom line. We do need, because we have potential. Every human on this planet, 8 point whatever billion we're at right now, we need to be challenged to in order to see what we're made of. That's the best time. Imagine going through life simply in autopilot in every part of your life. You relate, it wouldn't even work. Your relationships on autopilot, your health is on autopilot, your job is on autopilot. What a life! What a life! One of the six human needs is growth and change and variety. Like, well, not one of, there's three of them out of the six. You need those things to feel alive. Just imagine coasting through your life. And here's the challenge to this life choice change. Just think about the years I just pointed out. You're attempting to keep everything in this status quo. But here's what you don't realize: change disrupts your status quo. Say relationships. Oh, I just want to maintain my relationship. Well, your partner's going to change. You're going to change in some way. You're going to age. Your desires and wants might change. So you're going against an enemy here that's constantly at your door. It's called change. Your job. I like my job this way. Yeah, well, technology has just changed your job. The demographics of the world just change your job. The culture, the changes, societal change. You have no options. So this idea of coasting, your health. Let's say I just want to maintain my health, what it is. Guess what? You just aged from last year. Something is degenerating or something is happening, and you're experiencing change. You're gonna have to change. So this wish and desire to have no thing disrupt your path and just keep it the same is against human nature. It's just against nature. So we, instead of waiting for change to nudge us, why don't we be the spark, stay ahead of the game and spark change? Because I just looked this up here: pressure and how are diamonds, and this is a cliche statement. This is not anything earth shattering. We've all heard this before, that diamonds are created from pressure, from a coal. So I looked it up and see what it says here. Diamonds are formed from the carbon atoms that bond together under immense pressure and heat. Immense. See that word, immense. Didn't say just a little bit of pressure. Immense pressure and heat, typically found deep within Earth's mantle. This process can take millions and even billions of years. While most diamonds form naturally in the Earth's mantle, they can also be created in laboratories. So again, and then I looked up potential. Every human has potential. It's an adjective. Having or showing the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. Say that again, right? Having, we all do, every single one of us, we have the capacity to become or develop into something in the future. So, whatever the hell you want to be, you can be. You have that every one of us, not just in some of us, it's in every one of us has this potential to be something great. And you define greatness. Don't I'm not going to define it for you. But it's got to be something better than sitting on the couch and letting change catch you. Gaining weight, feeling like crap, not living up to your desires and your potential. Got to be something better than that, right? So we have the potential, but like a diamond, and the thing of that takeaway from the definition of the diamond, how to create how the diamond is formed, is two things: immense pressure and time. It can take millions, if not billions, of years for the diamond, but we're not talking diamond level waiting millions of years here. We're talking about us moving towards our potential. If it takes you a lifetime to hit a target that you want to hit, that's okay too. Why? Because it's the process of getting there that you should be in love with. That's what you should be what you should embrace is the process. So if it takes you years, not everyone wants this overnight success. Get me to this goal overnight. And sometimes when you're watching these shows, these variety shows on TV, reality shows, variety shows with talented people, you're wondering when you're seeing these people sing, you're wondering where are they coming from? Because they've been in the streets, and now this show gives them an opportunity because they've been playing their game doing their best, but there were no opportunities yet. But they kept doing their best. They're playing in bars, they're playing in little places here and there, and next thing you know, the opportunity provides itself. And if they aren't ready, opportunity keeps moving. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. That's why we have to keep putting in the work. That's a whole other podcast. But the main one we're talking about here is how pressure can create diamonds. When was the last time you challenged yourself? Got out of your comfort zone? Stop the narrative about, oh, what are people gonna think? Who am I? My age. Oh, I got this going on. That when was the last time you challenged yourself to see what you're made of? Don't you deserve that? Don't you deserve an opportunity to see what you are made of? And if you're listening to this podcast, that means you're seeking knowledge, you're seeking some kind of information or some kind of spark or some idea. Then what if you did it? What if you went all the way? Would you have any regrets? Or would you have a lot of lessons along the way, highs and lows? But those highs and lows are great because you're in the game, you're in the arena, other than sitting on the sidelines, looking at somebody else, celebrating others, which is great, good. Let's celebrate them. But when do you get to ring the bell? That's the thing. So I'll stop there. Got more, but I'm gonna let my boys here step in. I'm sure they're bubbling to share some more things. So I'm gonna pass the mic.
Both of you guys shared very powerful things. Charlie, when you talked about how daily challenges are so important. And in your words, when we are meeting challenges on a day to day basis, goal achievement is inevitable. Uh, that's so true. And Alvin, you just said something. You said, don't you deserve an opportunity to see what you're made of? I love that. Right. And I always, maybe my brain works like that. I look for patterns. Okay. I like to break things down at the atomic level because, listen, I love learning. I don't believe I'm the smartest person ever. I like to acquire wisdom. And the more I break things down at the atomic level, the more I get to see how it works and where to start. Okay. And when I look at this thing about, hey, settling for good enough. not going for not going for it all. Why is that? And then I look things up, and we know we all have fears, and and we know how fears can slow us down. We know how having lower standards, maybe having a tough time with our self worth, that can affect too. Mental fatigue. That's one thing about the comfort zone. We get in there to be to relax, to kind of stay away from the pressure. But really, what it does, it we get fatigued. We stay in there. It's like we lose our fire when we are pressed against pressure. When we have a challenge, some way, somehow, we have energy. It's a rise to the occasion. We're not feeling as tired. We're awakened. We're alive. We're activated. Okay. So mental fatigue can burn us out. Lack of vision. We talked about that. I don't remember which one of you guys, but missing the capacity to see what this potential fulfilled could bring forth into your life. That comes from vision. And this is a big one: success guilt. Hey, what if I actually push through and make things happen, but, you know, I don't feel comfortable being that one, and others are in the back? That's also another thing. Okay. And then I wrote this down: daily challenges, they force you to be in motion. Okay. Being in motion creates progress, and progress really unlocks the door for the opportunity at mastery, at greatness, whatever it is. Okay, whatever it is. So let's start seeing it like this, guys. Comfort is a numbing agent. It really is. Okay, when I'm too comfortable, I don't feel as much. I don't taste the food as much. I don't live as much. Okay. When I am challenged, I get to be locked in. And being locked in, being on a mission, okay, being truly striving for something is such a beautiful thing for our lives. It really is. And that's really in the end the challenge. You know, uh, I think of this in a way. I remember playing the game, okay, playing sports, and there's a lot of other instances where I can see this in my life now. But I remember just being on the field, and you have thousands and thousands of people cheering. For some reason, you don't hear anything. You don't even hear anything because you're so locked in, you're so in the moment, and you do things out of habit that you didn't even know you could do. Because again, when we break things down at the atomic level, you've been working on a lot of other things that when it comes to put it all together, things just happen. That potential is fulfilled. Well, that's how it works. And pressure and challenge is the key. And good enough is really the opposite of that. Okay, so there's always this little voice within us, inside us. It's just a matter of, are we ready to listen to it? Or are we gonna shy away from it, be afraid of everything that comes with it? Because discipline is not an easy thing. Okay, discipline is not an easy thing. Uh, Setting goals for yourself is also means that I have to look in the mirror and I have to be accountable to these goals. Okay. It needs integrity. It needs a lot of these great core principles that we all want to adhere to, but that require something higher from us, that require for us to raise our standards. And let me just tell you, it's a beautiful thing to meet these principles, to meet these standards, and to rise a little bit higher, to step out of the comfort zone and live and find this energy of life that we have. And with that, I'll pass the mic.
I love it. And I think about the things that you both have said, and I think one of the keys to the daily, challenge achievement, stepping up to challenges on a daily basis is it creates momentum, right? It creates momentum. And there's been a lot written about, making your bed in the morning, right? And rising early and going through your morning routine. But the thing about that is it creates momentum. Hey, I've accomplished this. I've made my bed. I've brushed my teeth. I've showered. I've shaved. I'm ready to go. I've done some reading this morning. I've done some stretching. I may have got my exercise in already this morning. Now you have all this momentum, this positive momentum that you're going into your day with. And I think it's so important when we're working towards goal achievement that we create momentum. And when we create momentum, it really drives us forward and kind of almost takes on a life of its own in some ways. So creating momentum is so huge, and you see it in sports all the time. When a team has momentum, you see them kind of take control of an entire ball game, and then that momentum carries them on to victory. So I think it's the same thing with us as human beings, is when we're putting things in place and taking those steps towards our goal on a daily basis, that it's creating this momentum. And we have momentum for a day, and all of a sudden we have it for a week, we have it for a month, we have it for a quarter. Well, we have all this momentum now, where confidence comes along with that, and we can see that we're getting closer, we're getting more confident, and the momentum will just build and drive us forward to success. So with that, I'll pass the mic.
Yeah, great topics here, and great conversations here. Uh, comfort zone. The comfort zone is a numbing agent. Though that's a great one, because just think about it as we let that roll in our minds. It does become a numbing agent because we start to lose sight of our life. Because, as I said, the greatest enemy that we can think of, and it's a silent, deadly, and powerful enemy, is change. Change. We have to really look at that as an evil enemy, because let's go to relationships. Sometimes when I'm in the streets and I'm people watching, and I look at somebody who looks tired and beaten, and it could be many reasons, so let's eliminate the trauma reasons. They've been through trauma. Let's eliminate that. Let's just talk about the average person that you see, who you can just tell they've avoided. You haven't seen them since high school. Maybe they're divorced by now, or they're at the same job, which is cool. Whatever lights you up, but they just don't look happy. Let's put it that way. And you can just sometimes I sit back and I look at people and I go, and then I look at a young person. I do this a lot, actually. I look at a young person and I go, someday soon, this young, vibrant person, wearing the latest trends and they're doing their thing. They're young and vibrant. And one day you're going to grow up and not be that vibrant, and not be that trendy, not be that judgmental to everybody you see around, and think your shit don't stink. One day you're going to be humbled by life. And it depends on how humble it makes you. But you're going to be that overweight person, that unhappy looking person, that sad person. It's going to happen. if you allow it, if you take your eye off. So this comfort zone, it does numb you, and you see it. Maybe when someone gets out of, I always ask somebody this question when they get out of school, high school, what's your goal? They set a goal, maybe university, or they get into the workforce. They want to be something in the workforce. They go right into the workforce. But after getting out of university, getting a job, a decade in, they may have had a child or maybe not or whatever. They get into the comfort zone. And then you start to see life get to them. The changes get to them. They're not as vibrant anymore. The energy's not there. That that spice for life is not there. They're working the job. They're getting there on Monday, do 9 to 5. They're doing their thing. The comfort zone, the trappings of the comfort zone, the pension possibly, which they don't give out as much anymore, but security, right? They're into security. AI, oh, these technology are, ruining my job, and complain about this. They're being the victim of change. It's changing so fast out there. The world is shrinking. Everything, all these noises, right? And they become numb by the comfort zone. But here's again the enemy is change. How can we stay vibrant? How can we keep that youthful? And we seem to have this definition, I'm not young anymore. I don't want to do this or do that. People let themselves go because they're not young anymore. Yeah, I'm married. I'm this. I'm that. I got kids. There's tons of excuses. And I can say it from my point of view because I've raised 4 kids. I've been in a relationship for 41 years. I keep myself in shape because I don't want to let change. Listen, I am change. I'm one of change's best opponent. I'm out here. I'm one of the change. I challenge change. Come on, let's go. It leaves me alone a little bit more than the others because it knows it's going to get a fight, a good fight. Because I know who you are. I recognize you change. You're subtle. You come in here like my best friend. You come lay beside me. You give me all I want. All right. You coax me. You encourage me. You like, hey man, nah, you're good, bro. Bro, you're good, man. Nah, you don't have to do that, man. Hey, let's go order that pizza, man. Come on. You wanna We're bestie, man. You want me to order it or what? I'll order it for you, man. I got it on speed dial. What is it? Domino's? What you want? I got you, man. Go gym. Don't go to gym. Let's watch the Netflix, bro. Don't go anywhere, brother. I got you. Oh, you want to go get a degree? You want to level? Oh, man, don't do that, man. Come on. There's some good movie on your boys. Call your boys, man. Go hang out. You got Jim over here. Jim will stay with you, man. I'm a friends with Jim, too. Jim and I are good friends, man. Yeah, you see Jim. Look at Jim. He looks comfortable, right? That's what I'm offering you. So, yeah, man, I think, we gotta realize who the enemy is. The comfort zone is a numbing agent. And next thing you know, you bought in. Change is laughing. And you wonder, why is Change always laughing? Every time he's with me, he's always laughing. God damn. Okay, anyways, let me get back to this movie. So, it's a numbing agent. And this idea of good enough. Good enough. Yes. Good enough is the secret, is the words that we repeat. When change just says, you know what, why don't we start using this word? Good enough. And it gets you. So this is how, again, a coal steals a coal and we avoid becoming diamonds. If you think it's an illusion to think that change is not knocking at your door, change is not trying to be a bestie for a reason. There's something in it for change. There's a payoff. It gets another one. It's collecting heads. It's putting notches in its belt. So, and momentum. Dr. Charlie talked about momentum. Change hates that. Actually, you know what? Change doesn't mind momentum, actually, because it uses it in a negative way, though. Change is like, yeah, I like momentum if it's going in my direction, right? So, and momentum is like a body in motion stays in motion, body at rest stays at rest. I wonder if that's change is saying. But, anyways, change. Don't you dare think I'm going to keep this the same. That's an illusion you're going to keep it the same. You're going to try. That relationship you had, you remember the spark you had, you remember the spice you had when the two of you first met, you and your partner, everything was rocking. But change says, you know what, this is rocking a little too much, man. This is, I'm sure she'd like a little change. I'm sure she'd like a little comfort. Just go easy, brother. You're married now. What you worrying about? I'm going to the gym. Don't worry about that. I got you. Next thing you know, change happens. So when are you gonna change? Anyways, that's it. That's it, man. I'm gonna pass the mic because I'm getting a little hot on this one.
All right, I got it. So great discussion about change and um, how important it is to recognize the impact that your comfort zone is having on you. And I wrote down a few thoughts on comfort zone. And as you were speaking, how when there is no goal achievement inside your comfort zone. And so when you stay in your comfort zone, you're
Amen.
guaranteeing that you're not going to achieve your goals. Because in order to achieve your goals, you have to step outside your comfort zone. And the next thing I wrote down is a prerequisite for goal achievement is stepping outside your comfort zone.
Amen.
So those two go hand in hand, not being comfortable and being willing to step outside of your comfort zone, right? To feel that pressure we talked about to move forward. And as human beings, it's so easy to get into that trap, right? You both mentioned, hey, it's a numbing agent to be in that comfort zone, and it's really kind of like a trap. And you're there, and comfort's talking to you, and you feel pretty good, and things like that. But what happens is you look up over time, and your goals are still in the distance, right? Because you haven't stepped out and moved towards them. And it's interesting. I remember reading about how important it is for your overall health to be, you know, either taking a cold shower or doing a cold plunge. And there's a lot of science behind it. And I remember saying, okay, I'm going to try this cold shower. And brutal. It's very uncomfortable. And when you're first doing it, it's brutal. It's brutal. But what happens over time is you when you're stepping outside your comfort zone, all of a sudden you're building this muscle that we talked about. It's called discipline. You're building this muscle. And every time that I do it, that I get outside my comfort zone and I take that cold shower, immediately afterward, you feel better physically, mentally, and emotionally. But you feel really good for the fact that, hey, I achieved a goal today. The sense of accomplishment is massive. And I think so many days, the toughest part of my day is that 2 minutes that I spend under that coal. But it gets me out of that comfort zone and creates that positive momentum that, hey, I'm going to go out and accomplish the next thing on my list because it's going to be easier than what I just did. So really breaking through that comfort zone and getting out of it regularly, it'll make it easier and easier to do so over time. With that, I'll pass the mic.
You see it all the time. The listeners see it all the time, but we just haven't taken notice that. And we talk about it all the time. Oh, look at Bob. Bob's really put on a lot of weight, and that's the first sign that he's entertaining that change is visiting his house. And we got to save Bob. right? So we have to do what we can to save Bob. Never watch a friend have change, take them over and just sit there on it. You got to save friends, right? So save Bob. Come on, save Bob. Bob from change. You can see it. Bob's relationships. You see Bob and Bob and his wife haven't had relations in months. You know, maybe years. They haven't had relations. That's when change has been sitting at his house, man. Change is sitting at his house. There's signs and symptoms of change. That change is sneaky, right? But we can pick him up. I'm going to give you the clues. I'm giving you the secret sauce here to save a friend or save yourself. The first part of a relationship when you know a relationship's going south. Here's a secret. My partner and I are like roommates living together. There's change because change got in there. Change is in there. Change is taking up bed space. Change is taking up the couch between you and the partner. And change is talking to both of you. You don't need to do that. Don't worry about that, man. The workout. What are you working out for? You might feel sexy. You might start to get your mojo going. Don't worry about that, man. That's a lot of hassle. You're married. The hell. All right, don't worry about that. You got her on lock. You got him on lock. Don't worry about it. Change is there. Oh, you're putting on 30 pounds. Oh, don't worry about that. That's change. No, I'm telling you. In Canada, they have this commercial about driving alcohol where the server, if you go to a bar, the server takes your keys to save your life. Well, I'm gonna say the same thing, man. You start seeing signs and symptoms of your friend, your partner, your whoever, someone you care about, and you start to see the signs and symptoms of change or sneaking in. Please take their keys. Take their keys. Okay, it's a powerful agent. So, anyways, Ray is back. I want to give Ray a moment here because I'm sure if he was tuned in, he's got something bubbling on the fire. Ray, what you got?
I do. And sorry in advance if you hear the background noise. I got the little troop that woke up. So
Perfect, perfect. That's life.
it's pretty clear, guys, that change is life, right? Change is life. It's always gonna be there. It's not going anywhere. The question is, are we gonna have a say in how it shapes us? Or is it the only one or is it the only one that has a say in what happens? you know that's really the thing. And the antidote to that, or one of the antidotes, we talked about a lot of them today, but is our environment structured for growth? Is our environment structured for growth? Are we sprinkling all the right things in there, okay, to make sure that we are ready the moment change comes in, and we know change will come in? And are we training for it? Do we have the routines? Do we have the circle? Are we feeding our minds with the right things? Are we doing one thing every single day just to challenge us a little bit, just to test us a little bit, so we can grow, so we can break down these muscles, whatever muscles they are, so they can build up again? That's so important, because that is the fortress. Okay, that is the fortress that change will have a tough time just dictating what's going to happen to you. What's going to happen? You will be the one dictating a lot of the outcomes once your environment is structured the right way for that growth. So that's really going to be my focus all throughout the week. Is, hey, how can I build up my fortress a little bit more? How can I be ready for this fight that really never ends? It's a everyday, never ending fight where you can't just put your guards down thinking, hey, I've gotten there, I've arrived. No, we never arrive. And that's the beautiful thing about it, is the moment your eyes open is, okay, am I ready? Am I ready for what's to come today? And am I gonna be the one that is taking part of this design, which is called my life? Okay, am I gonna transform this pressure that's being put to me so I can create, so I can become a diamond, the diamond that I know deep within, and all of us know deep within that we have the potential to become? I'll leave you guys with this one wisdom. In sports, we hear all the time: potential gets you fired. Potential gets you fired because everyone has it, but at some point, if you don't do anything with it, if your environment is not structured to transform it into results, okay, you'll get fired. As simple as that. So if it's so easy to look at it that way for other people, maybe we should look at it that way for ourselves too. Okay. Good enough is okay. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Okay. There are seasons of life, there are moments. So it's not a bad thing. Okay. But just remember that we are in this battle, and change has an effect on us every single day. And we deserve, we deserve to want what's best for us and to manifest what's best for us. And I heard another wisdom a couple months ago, and I thought that was so good. Is that, imagine you're in a fight and you're being attacked every single day, okay, by an enemy, but you have no clue, okay? You have no clue. That means you have absolutely no chance to win that fight because you're not prepared. You're just completely clueless. But what if you are prepared? What if you are aware? What if you are in a heightened state of awareness and you are growing and training to become that warrior, whatever that means? Okay, it could be, I'm a single mother, I'm a father, I'm a business owner, I'm a leader. It doesn't matter. Then you have a chance to really win that fight or win that battle every single day and get ready for the next one. So view it this way: as you go through life and as you get out of your house, okay, things are affecting you, change is coming for you. Are you aware of it? Okay, or are you just cluelessly and aimlessly walking through life and letting it affect every single aspect of it? Or are you prepared and then taking the fight back and shaping it in a way, that really manifests your potential? That starts with your environment. And I commend everyone who's here, because just the fact that you're listening to these podcast episodes, to these conversations, you're putting things in your environment that work for you. If your journal, something as simple, Charlie said he has 3 things every day he wants to accomplish. Me, I make sure every day before going to bed, I write down my 3 wins for the day, and I realized there are always wins in my day. No matter how hard it was or good it was, there are always wins. There's always progress. This is just little tips in there, and every one of our lives is a little bit different. Just make sure you structure your environment for growth. And with that, I'll pass the mic.
Absolutely love it. So to round up, I'm just gonna, as we get close to the end of um, this cookout, here is the. I want to touch on Ray. Touch on a couple things. Dr. Charlie touch on a few things here. The comfort zone again. We bring it back to that, stepping outside of it, to spot it where, because change in the comfort zone, the comfort zone is where it changes office or its home is. It's where its community is. If you're driving along, you see the sign says you're entering comfort zone. Just know that the mayor, the president, whoever it is change, and change likes it comfort there. So, um, then Ray pointed out sometimes people find leveling up a little difficult, but we talked about last week, putting structure, put it in that the structure you put in will eliminate the need for motivation. because now just follow the process, the structure, the system that you put in. Set it up for a win and just follow it. Don't deviate. Um, do you have the resources to manage change? Get the resources you need, whether it be call a coach, start something, build, set yourself up for success. And Ray said, great wisdom here. He said, potential gets you fired. And I also added, potential gets you divorced. Potential gets you depressed. Potential can get let in dis-ease. Again, potential is the ability to be something in the future, to develop into something, but it's just dormant. It's sitting there. Potential. That gets you fired. It can get you divorced because you have the potential to be all you could be, but you don't. So that starts to affect you, which then affects the people around you, your relationships. They feel it. When you're living your best life, everyone feels that too. When you're living your not so best life, everyone feels that too. So, love that. With that, I'm gonna pass the mic for the last round. Actually, you know what? While I'm here, I'm gonna pass the mic for finish up and then our last word.
All right. Another great session. And I think in all of it, critical factor is to take action, right? To take action. And it reminded me of one of Nike's founding principles. Then I pulled it up, and the principle is we are always on offense. So we always have to be first. We always have to take the first step. We always have to attack, our goals and what we want to achieve. And if we do that, by default, by nature, we're stepping outside of our comfort zone to do so. So when we're taking action in the right direction, good things will happen. With that, I'll pass the mic.
Mm,
Amen.
love that. Love that. Uh, Man, I have a tough time finding one word today. I really love this subject of environment. I'll just say this: your environment will win with for you or against you. Okay, it,
Mhm.
it really depends how you shape it. Is your environment working for you or against you? And with that, I'll
Mhm.
pass the mic.
All right. I'm gonna add in here to finish up is become awake. Awake and aware. Neighborhood watch. Watch your friends because change is insidious. Watch yourself and spot the telltale signs that change is living in your environment. It's taking space. Watch the telltale signs. All right. With that, my one word is awake. Become conscious. Fellas, word, close us off.
Mine's going to be action, right? Got to take action.
I'll go with challenge.
Mm,
Challenge.
nice.
Find your challenge. Find your mission. Find your test today.
Plant your flag. All right. Awesome. All right. With that, I hope. Remember, I'm going to leave you again in honor of my mentor, Dr. Tom Hill. As Ray said, it's hard to find one word. Well, it's going to be hard for you to pick one thing that you're gonna get from this. Is a lot. We delivered a lot. So when you listen to it, what one thing, one idea, well executed, can change your life forever? What's the one idea? Not the six or seven we said, or you heard something. And again, the other part I'd say, another mentor of mine, Norm Trainer, he said, you can be a familiar, you can be a master. Yeah, you've heard this stuff before. It's cliche. Oh, I heard this before. Application makes you a master. So that's what I'll leave you with. All right, fellas, great session, great main meal, Ray. Thanks for bringing that. I hope my hope is you get what you need from it, that one thing that you're gonna apply and rock and roll and become a master in your own life. And if you know someone who, if you spot a friend, by the way, who is changed living at their house, please share, like, subscribe, share this podcast with them. It might be the thing they need to save their job, their relationship, their life. So please do. Don't let a friend drive drunk. Anyway, that's it. We're out, fellas. What do we wish them? Wish them what? Peace.
Peace.
We're gonna send a little bit of love and then a sprinkle of soul, baby. Soul. I'm talking about. All right. Until next week, everyone. We'll talk later. Peace.
Take care, guys.